Hello dear viewers, I am aleonimation, and in this video, I listened to all of the Backyardigans albums and I am going to rank them. So welcome back to another video where I listen to children's music for my own amusement or because I think it will get me views. As you guys can tell by that amazing introduction, today we're going to be talking about the international pop sensation of the Backyardigans. Yes, people, the Backyardigans. Because as some of you guys may know, certain songs from the Backyardigans catalog have become internet memes, the main two being Castaways and Into the Thick of It, which became quite popular on TikTok and even gained some notoriety on the Billboard charts. The sudden rise of these songs into the mainstream, thanks to TikTok influencers, caught the attention of many people, all the way from serious musicians to Mildred, who lives down the street. And of course, as you guys can guess, me, I was interested in listening to the Backyardigans music because as big as the show was, probably most of you were not aware of their album catalog. Yes, people, the Backyardigans had albums. Before we start this video, can we also give a shout out to the Backyardigans music producer? Because throughout the entire run of the show, they just had one music producer, Ivan Lure. Ivan Lure, I really need to Google how to pronounce the names of these people. Well, Ivan was the producer and the composer for the music of the Backyardigans. He had to, negotiate with Nickelodeon and stuff. If the Backyardigans needed an entire orchestra for one of their songs, he was the guy who made that happen. If you think about it, he truly was the George Martin of the Backyardigans. To show him your gratitude, please comment down below, #ThankYouDaddyEvan. And to show me your gratitude, please stay until the end of this video to find out which Backyardigans album I think is the best. Another thing that I wanted to say that surprised me when making this video is that the Backyardigans, as big of a group they were in popularity, they technically had a very short musical career. I mean, they only released 3 full-length albums, not considering promo singles and EPs. And to most groups, that would be a very short run for their career, but they managed to leave a lasting impact on most people born in the 2000s, including me. And if you think about it, all of the Backyardigans albums are probably better than 80% of mainstream music that exists today. Okay, enough rambling. I listened to all of the Backyardigans albums, and now I'm gonna tell you which one is the worst and which one is the best. Okay, actually, not the worst. More like which one is my least favorite to my most favorite. So let's start with the Backyardigans, Groove to the Music. Groove to the Music is the second album released from the Backyardigans, and as you guys can tell, it's my least favorite. And the main reason being is that this record really has no memorable songs. I have to look at my notes just to see what my thoughts were as I was listening to this album. The song, Hold On Tight, sounds very Elvis-inspired. Tyrone has a great number in this album with the song Gotta Get the Job Done. Rad Moves is a rad song. And Oh My Sherman is it's a nice ending song, but it's not as good as their first. But we'll get to that later. Overall, the Backyardigans are as strong as ever on their harmonies and hooks, but I think after their debut album, the group just felt lost musically. They didn't know where to go, and they tried to remake what was their debut, but this album just is not as memorable. Thankfully, the group did manage to improve a lot on their next album, which is the Backyardigans' Born to Play. Born to Play is everything that the Backyardigans are good at doing. It is their best produced. Every song here sounds clean and singles worthy. This album also has some featured artists, including Alicia Keys on the song Almost Everything Is Boinga, which is an absolute banger, and Cyndi Lauper on Uniqua's Lady in Pink. I can't believe that two of the biggest pop stars in pop music history worked with the Backyardigans. Couldn't think of a higher honor for Alicia and Cyndi. This album has an immediate strong start with the song Ready for Anything, and the first few songs, which I would say is like the first 5 tracks of this album, are just banger after banger. Go 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 has amazingly fun instrumentation. Customer is Always Right is an interesting commentary on the retail industry and the struggles of the people who work in it. I'm a Mountie and Racing Day have amazing hooks. Also, I didn't realize that this album has multiple versions. The one that is available on streaming services, as far as I know, is the extended version that includes 6 or 8 bonus tracks. Bonus tracks 17 through 22 are from the Tales of the Mighty Knights special. And then there are some extra songs thrown in here. But overall, if I had to say anything, is that this album really is the Backyardigans' thriller. I could go on and on why I love this album, and it hurts me a lot to have to put it in second place. This album is everything that I love about the Backyardigans. Every single song is a banger. The production quality is great. Composition is amazing. The lyrics, great as ever. But after careful consideration from our panel of judges, aka me, I decided that the best Backyardigans album is the Backyardigans' self-titled debut. The Backyardigans' first album is their best album in my opinion. It has an immediate strong start with the Backyardigans theme song, and like, how do you beat that? That makes every other intro songs on all of their other albums look weak in comparison. You and Me is a very groovy song, and it's immediately followed by, of course, you guessed it, Castaways, which is an amazingly breezy song about being stranded on a desert island after a shipwreck. Couldn't relate to anything more. Just to let you in on a little secret, I think A Pirate Says Arg is a better song. Queens Are Never Wrong is an underrated solo from Tasha. She really is the George Harrison of the Backyardigans. The sound effects on Buffalo Girls and Boys are mixed amazingly. The dramatic quiet jam of Secret Agent, not to be confused with International Super Spy. Sadly, that song is not on any of their albums. Then we have Into the Thick of It. Yeah. When I'm Booing is a great solo from Tyrone. Truly, he was the George Harrison of the Backyardigans. I think the first half of this album was stronger than the second half. But the main reason why I decided to put this album at number 1 instead of Born to Play, even as much as I wanted to put Born to Play at number 1, is because I think it does a better job at giving a musical narrative. This album seems to have an intro a body and then it has a conclusion. To have an album like this as your first album is something that many other musicians wish that they could have. And the final thing that I wanted to say about this album, I want to talk about this album's closing song, which is Rockabilly Lullaby. This is a song which probably, like many of you, I had completely forgotten about. And it's a song that made me realize, y'all should go listen to it to truly understand what it is that I'm talking about. Just how much I miss being a kid. Not that I'm saying that my life is bad now. I have a way better life than what I had when I was a child, and even what I had just a few years ago. I am more open about certain things. I can talk to people more, so I guess I'm not as introverted as I used to be. But I miss not having to have worries about school and jobs and identity issues, you know, the usual. I think that perfectly exemplifies also why we are all here today and why the Backyardigans have risen to popularity again. Because they remind us of those times when we didn't have to worry about anything that was important. I miss just coming home and putting on Discovery Kids on the TV, and at 4 p.m. they would put on the Backyardigans in Spanish, and I would just zone into their world, and I would just not like care about life. That's the thing. Maybe we all secretly wish that we were on a deserted island. That is, if that deserted island came with all of the modern commodities that we have today, but none of the problems. Anyways, that was my review. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best. You're the best. What should I review next? Please subscribe to become an aleonimator today. That is what I call my returning viewers. All 83 of you. And if you want to become that 84th viewer, I mean, you could just subscribe. I mean, it's way better. Oh, and before you go, can we just comment an F in the chat, guys? An F for my man's Austin. He only had 4 solo songs throughout the entire show, and none of them are on these albums. Truly, he was the Ringo Starr of the Backyard.